So you went to the doctor and you asked, "What's wrong with me, doctor?" He said, "You got the grippe." You go back to your house, you tell your grandmother, "Grandma, vovó, you tell grippe."
Don't do this.
Right away, she'll bust out the pot, start making a nice canja. Canja is a chicken soup made throughout Portugal, thought to have curative powers for the flu and colds. You'll see it throughout all the islands of Portugal and on the mainland. There's a few different variations. Canja is an extremely old recipe. There's documents showing that canja was around in Portugal as far back as the 1500s. It's thought to have come over from Asia. Portuguese explored a lot of Asia, Goa in India, Macau, and they believe over there they have a soup called canja, and they believe that's where canja originated from. There's a lot of different variations. There also seems to be quite a few recipes out there that put egg yolk in the recipe, either chopped up hard-boiled eggs or to mix in egg yolk, raw egg yolk, into the finished soup. That practice originated from years ago. They would actually use eggs that were still inside the chicken. So immature eggs that at that point they're mainly egg yolk. There's not that much egg white. So it looks like that's where the addition of egg yolk came into the canja soup. One thing they all have in common, you need your chicken and then some vegetables. I'm gonna stick with rice and we'll get started. Right, so the first thing I like to do is get my chicken going. You know, chicken will be cooked in about 40 minutes for sure in this boiling water, but I like to cook my chicken for quite a while. You know, I think you get better flavor extraction out of the bones, and also I like it where the meat is easy to shred and pull apart. So I like to slow cook my chicken from 2 to 4 hours. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put the chicken in the hot water. This chicken was a little over 5 pounds. So I have my chicken in there, I have 1 gallon of water to start with, and we might adjust that at the end. Then I'll put in 1 tablespoon of salt. And that's it. You know, I see a lot of recipes where right away they add in the vegetables from the beginning, especially since I like to cook my chicken from 2 to 4 hours. If I add my vegetables in now, they'll just get really mushy. So I like to wait until the end, like the last 30 minutes, to add in my vegetables. Also, I like to add in my bay leaf from the beginning. I'm adding about 6 small bay leaves. While the chicken is cooking, I'll peel my carrots, chop up my onions, and peel and chop my turnips. Okay, I've been cooking my chicken for about an hour and a half now. If you're in a hurry, it's definitely done now, and you could pull it out, let it cool off, take off the meat. But I like to cook the chicken until the meat is falling off the bone, because there's a lot of flavor extraction that's going to occur coming from the bone. Collagen doesn't begin to turn into gelatin until it reaches 180, and then that's a slow process. Usually it takes a while, and that's a lot of richness that's added to your soup. 2 forks in there into the top of the breast, and you can see I can't pull it apart at all. So I'm probably going to go at least another hour. As your chicken's cooking, some of the fat from the chicken is going to be rendered off, and also there might be some white scum on top, and you always could skim that off if you want your canja to have less fat. It really doesn't bother me that much, but if you want to skim, you just put the ladle right below the surface and the oil will be right on top, and just let the oil go right into the spoon. Okay, my chicken has been cooking for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Put my fork in there. You could see I could pull apart the chicken breast. So that's the stage I like getting to. I would say at the most you'd want to go another hour. So this has been 2 hours and 15 minutes. If you go to like 4 hours, it'll really just start shredding apart. To me, you want to be in that range between about 2 hours and 4 hours at the most. So now I'll just take out the pieces, and the chicken's already falling apart because just how long it's been cooking, but that's what you want. So just take out all the chicken, and it'll probably take at least a half hour to cool off. If you want to put some soft-boiled egg yolk in your soup, I put them inside the soup while the chicken was cooking for just about 10 minutes, and then I put it in ice water. You don't have to do this, but I like my tomatoes peeled. I think they're nicer in the soup. So to peel tomatoes, first I'll core it. And then I'll put a little X on top. And after I put an X on top, I just drop them in the boiling chicken stock. I'm just gonna put these in here. My tomatoes have been in the soup for about 2 minutes. You see how it just peels right off? That's what you want. While the chicken is cooling off so we could take all the meat off the bone, I'll put in my vegetables. Got my carrots, my turnips, my onions, and my rice. Now I'm going to take the meat off the chicken and shred it up. Okay, after I put in all the vegetables, this has been cooking for about 30 minutes. You want to cook it anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And now I'll add in the chicken that I pulled apart and the tomatoes. Give that a stir. Now I'll add in a little piri, some piri peppers, also known as bird's eye peppers. It's virtually done now. Usually I let it go at least another 10 minutes just to kind of marry the flavors. And this is seasoned a few different ways. I think I'm going to keep it kind of simple like this, besides the bay leaf I put in there and salt. Sometimes I see recipes that have mint. Other times I see recipes that have like cumin, cloves, and sometimes even like a cinnamon stick in there. Up to your own interpretation at this point. On Madeira Island, canja is very popular around Christmas time and New Year's, especially on the night of Christmas Eve. It's quite popular to have canja with your family, and when you get back from Mass, they actually make little sandwiches, very plain, just a chicken with some boule de coco usually, their traditional bread, and they have these canja sandwiches after Christmas Eve Mass. Check out more of my soup videos on my website, justcookwithmichael.com. I have caldo verde, sopa de trigo, and a sorda. Okay, I want to show you the other way I see this prepared. I think this is more common in the Azores with the egg yolk. I'm going to put some egg yolk in there as garnish. So you could do this right before service for about every really large bowl, so about 12 ounces. I use 1 egg yolk, and you temper it. So you put a little bit of hot liquid and you whip up the egg. You don't want the egg to cook the way this hard-boiled yolk cooks. This is more an enrichment to the soup. This egg yolk is going to enrich it, and it's also going to thicken it just a little bit. So you want to take it off the fire. This was just boiling, and then slowly just whisk in this egg yolk that's been tempered. See, right away it just has a beautiful yellow color. Put a little bit of fresh parsley in there. Yum, yum. Can't wait. Canja, it's good for the soul. Go out, give this recipe a try. Go cook for someone you love.